Hey everyone, excited to be back for this week's edition of Frequently Asked Questions for Commercial Real Estate. In today's video, what I wanted to do was talk about a concept that is very pertinent to commercial real estate and one that really everyone should know about prior to purchasing a piece of commercial property, and that is what's known as what is commercial zoning. Now, the reason why this is so important is because it's going to be able to dictate what you can and can't do with a particular property. So in this video, we're going to explain exactly what commercial zoning is, how it operates, and then even highlight briefly what the rezoning process would look like so that if it is not currently zoned for what you can use it for, you can go through the process of potentially rezoning it for something that you would potentially want to use it for. So before we dive into this video, I'd really appreciate it if you get a like and subscribe to this channel. It really helps with the YouTube algorithm and ensures more and more people can hear this message and learn about the many facets of commercial real estate. So now that you've done that, go ahead and like and subscribe below. Let's go ahead and dive right into this video. All right. So the question is, what is commercial zoning? Well, commercial zoning essentially are laws that control the types of activity that can occur in a particular area as it pertains to commercial use. Zoning laws are going to be different depending on the jurisdiction or municipality you're in. For example, I'm located here in Louisville, Kentucky in Jefferson County. And for example, C2 is a type of commercial zoning that will allow for auto sales, mechanic, etc. But if you were located in a zone that was C1, for example, that would be more general retail and restaurants. So if you were an auto dealer or a mechanic and you try to locate in a C1 zone, you would not be able to operate in that environment. And that's going to be different depending on where you're located in the country. Now, cities have graduated zoning areas. What that means is that you're typically not going to see, if it's a well-organized city, residential properties directly next to heavy industrial and manufacturing. Typically, what you're going to see is something like a residential zoning that graduates to some sort of basic retail or office, etc. And then from there, you start seeing more heavier uses to kind of create a buffer between a residential location and whatever we consider heavy manufacturing, or really anything that's going to be very loud and disruptive towards people being able to live in that environment. So prior to purchasing a property, what you're going to have to do is, number one, look at the zoning. Understand what exactly can and can't fit within that location. Here in the Louisville area, we have what's known as the Land Development Code for the city, and it's going to list out all the different types of zonings and all the approved uses for that particular type of zoning. Now, if you're not able to utilize a property for your particular business use, it's not the end of the world. You may be able to still go through the process of rezoning the property such that now you can actually use it for your business use. What this typically is going to require is for you to be able to apply for a new zoning for that particular property. Here in the Louisville area, it would require you to have some plans as far as what you're going to be doing with the space, and then, have various different parts of the process, usually some sort of public forum, and then at the end, you're going to have the general meeting that's going to be where they determine whether or not they're going to rezone it for you. Now, the rezoning process can take as little as a few months and a few $1,000s, all the way to multiple years and many thousands of dollars. And it's not always guaranteed, especially if it's a very contentious type of rezoning process. You may or may not be able to get the property rezoned for you. So before you try going through that process, it's definitely a more in-depth process. I would highly encourage you to refer to your local land development code to get an understanding of what your uses are. Speak with your commercial real estate agent, in particular if they're very familiar with the rezoning process. They've helped other clients through the rezoning process. They'll be able to provide you with some insights as far as the previous experiences that they've encountered. And then talk to a zoning attorney. Talk to them and get an understanding of how what it's going to look like, some of the fees associated with doing so, and then they'll be able to give you some insights on the local, zoning laws and how it's going to interact within your particular situation. And then finally, if it's possible, talk to some of the neighbors. If your rezoning efforts are going to be a slight difference, meaning like it's a residential property, you want to zone it to an office use, typically that's not going to be as contentious when it comes to the rezoning process. However, if you're going from a office use to an industrial use, typically, especially if you're located around a lot of residential properties, that may be a little bit more contentious of a rezoning process. So if you at least can talk to some of the neighbors around you and try to get a feel for whether or not they're going to be the ones that are going to oppose the rezoning of that particular parcel, that'll give you a better understanding of whether or not it is wise to pursue it for your particular use. So hopefully you gained some value from this video. I really appreciate all you guys' support on this channel. If you really like this video, please like and subscribe. It really helps with the YouTube algorithm and ensures more and more people can hear this message. If you're in the local area and you're looking to buy a property and has some zoning issues, I'm a commercial real estate agent. I'd be happy to put you in contact with other zoning attorneys in town that can better help you through the process of potentially rezoning that property. And along with that, if you're looking to purchase commercial property, feel free to reach out to me. I'm happy to navigate you through the process and make sure that we get you a property that is right for you. If you want to do that, my number is 502-536-7315, or you can reach me via email at Raphael@grisantigroup.com. All right, well, thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you all next week.